I'm Ivan Richards. I'm a disabled um, sonic visual artist. I do music and imagery, film, animation, um, 360-degree imagery, and I'm also a poet. Um, uh, I'll Write to Thrive came from an idea that I had right at the end of a poem I wrote, which was I don't want to just survive. I want to thrive. So then we changed it to we want to thrive, our right to thrive, because we have a right to thrive like anyone else. The project is set up for disabled writers, artists who like me have barriers to face from non-disabled society, you know, um, and it's just we're setting up. We've set up a blog for people to join in, particularly from each webinar, to share with us their thoughts. Maybe just a poem or a short poem, a bit of writing, even a drawing or something like that. You know, whatever they want that goes with the title "Our Right to Thrive." Um, I know Paul's going to go be talking to you in a minute, focusing on the political side of that. I recently went on, back in July, outside the Houses of Parliament, trying to stop the bill against cutting people's PIP. So yeah, I did a poem about that in the film. So what we'd really like is your responses. If you can, please feel free to hand them in. Joe will put up the link to get to us. You can contact Colin direct as well, with whatever you want to put onto the blog. And thank you very much. I'll now hand over to Paul. That's enough of me.
Hi, I'm Paul. I am a male that's late 30s, got dark brown hair, with glasses, a beard, and I'm wearing a black, orange, and cream top. Um, so a bit about me. So, like I said, my name is Paul Wilshaw. I am the engagement and advocacy worker for Mind the Gap Theatre Company in Bradford. I'm also an access champion for the arts sector, and I regularly consult venues and television companies delivering training sessions around disability and access in the arts. I have learning disabilities and cerebral palsy. As you might be able to tell, I don't sound like I'm from Bradford. I'm originally from Dorset, and I have had a varied career as a learning disabled producer and performer. I originally started my acting career in a theatre called Jellicoe Theatre, where I done my first diploma in performing arts. And after that, I went on to join the brilliant company Tops and Daco, which joined into Double Act. I had worked as an actor on 6 of their shows, including being the Tin Man, and a drag queen act called Petrula Rose. In 2012, I was involved in the Olympic sailing opening ceremony in Weymouth as one of the assistant producers for Breathe, an unlimited commission, which was a brilliant opportunity. We had over 72 performers, 2 companies over from Brazil, and we, with the tour from the companies in Brazil, they came and done a tour of Dorset. Straight after that, I went on to perform at the Olympic Stadium as part of the closing ceremony for the Paralympic Games, performing alongside Coldplay, Rihanna, and Jay-Z. In 2014, I moved up to Bradford to join Mind the Gap as a performer, progressing as a student in the Performance Academy to later joining the professional artist cohort. In that time, I also became the company's assistant producer. As a producer, I have worked on notable projects such as Sarah, Daughters of Fortune, which was about learning disability and parenthood, and the Beyond Festival, which is a festival for learning disabled people. Earlier this year, I delivered Bradford's first Disabled Artists Network community event, which is called DANK, and that's a collaboration between Mind the Gap and Triple C. So,
do you want to say I'm in the room as well?
Yeah. So alongside me, I have my creative enabler, Jake Keating. So my experience of writing, especially writing poetry. Why do I do it? It's really interesting. I do it because it helps me clear my mind. I also have depression and anxiety, and writing poetry and writing in general helps bring me joy and helps me with my mental health. I don't see my writing as political, but some people might think it is. For me, I see it as an opportunity to explore the topics that are currently being talked about and also topics that are in my brain. I also write because when I was at Jellicoe Theatre, I was told I was going to struggle to gain my national diploma qualifications due to my writing skills, not my acting skills. So for me, I kind of done it as a bit of rebellion. And I really love poetry. I have gone into competitions. I went into the Slam Out, Say Out competition in York, which was my first ever competition. I wrote one poem at the time because I didn't think I was going to get through to the next round. Ironically, I did, and I had to write a poem on the spot, which is something that I have really started to like to do, of going to events and actually writing there and then, which is something that I'm hoping that as this group today, we might be able to do together. I also write my poetry because I love songs and lyrics, and I love putting music to my poems.
Colin's asked a really good question.
Yep.
How do you cope with the stress of competition when you're at a slam?
So I cope with it by not thinking it as a competition usually. I try and think of it as just people wanting to hear good poems. And you never always know if your poem's any good. So having people judge it really helps me to make my poetry better. Um, but also I love it. I'm a very competitive person. So I really like to compete against people and really want to test myself. I think that's just part of me being disabled. I've always having to prove myself. So um, going into competitions, I have to prove that I'm an okay poet. Um, I hope that answers that question.
Yeah.
Um, so um,
Should we just look at that point and think about why we're here today, what we
yeah,
want people to take away from today's session?
yeah. So um,
To
yeah,
write poetry
yeah.
positively.
Yeah, so I want you to think about why you why first you're in the room today, why you wanted to hear from me, but also why do you want to write poetry? And I think a major thing to realize is that poetry can be anything. There is no single one way of writing a poem, and it doesn't always have to rhyme. I think that's a misconception that people have, is that it always has to rhyme. I don't think so. If it does, great. But it's about getting your thoughts onto the paper and then seeing where it goes from there.
Yeah.
So my I'm gonna talk about Mr. Pip. So Mr. Pip was a piece of poetry that I read in 2018-19. And it was about the PIP assessment. I have had a really bad experience with PIP. Um, and starting from the first time I went for it, I got 0 points. This was just what happened. But for me, my creative process has now taken that I've done 4 drafts of this piece of work. And it's always in continuous development. Um, the great thing also is that the people I have worked with in the have also taken this piece of work on and have actually um, dramatized it and have also done a dance piece to it. So other people have taken my lyrics and my poem and have put it to the way that they have interpreted it. So I had a person put a dance piece to the words. I said the words, and Joanne Haynes created a dance piece as part of a cyberpunk revolution party. And that was done by the Party People Project. And I also have seen it done as a short dramatization of the poem done by Millstream Theatre Company in Wimborne, who it was just beautiful to see some people that um, really took what I said and made it their own, which really meant a lot to me. So this
Can we
is,
reflect on that, Paul?
yeah,
So I think from what we've discussed previously and what we've talked about, that moment of doing the PIP application that I'm sure many people in the room will sort of also have experience of, you at that particular time with the outcome, you felt so kind of disempowered by it all.
Yeah.
But actually, the poetry that you've been able to write and the creative process that has come from, such a moment of sort of travesty in a way has given you such great empowerment and allowed you to move forward and gain some level of courage to
I wouldn't say
keep going on.
I wouldn't say courage. I done this as kind of my way of putting a middle finger up.
Yeah.
And kind of was just like, um, I wanted to get my thoughts down on paper. I think another major thing to say is that I actually have gone to those PIP assess um in inverted commas consultancy PIP assessment and access to work assessment that the government were doing, and I actually have sent this poem to them, and they have said they will be taking it to councillors. So I don't know how far that's going to take it, but I'm hoping.
Yeah, it was your contribution to the government's white paper
Yeah,
when they were doing their research
yeah,
and sort of gathering thoughts and opinions,
yeah,
and you were able to share it.
yeah,
And then I think also it's important to say sort of how wide you've shared it across the internet. It seems to have spread, and lots of people have kind of taken it on.
yeah.
And what do you want people to get from Mr. Pip themselves if they've been felt the same things as you have felt at that time?
I think what I want people to get from it is I think a lot of us know what the PIP assessment's like. This poem's more for the people that don't understand it, that kind of ridicule us. The system ridicules us and makes us feel that we are small. And so this poem kind of is my way of saying, um, look, this is not how it is. So for me, I kind of have done it like that. Um, so it's not, it's a poem for everyone to enjoy, but it's kind of also a poem to take to the councillors, take to say, look, this system is inhumane. And
Yeah.
I really do feel it's inhumane. I think there needs to be assessments. I do feel that, but I feel that it needs to be done by the right people.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read it. I'm sorry, Mr. Pip, but my leg did not play up today, so you couldn't see me on my worst day. I'm sorry, Mr. Pip. Can you say that again? Can I wash myself, you say? Yes, I can wash myself. But take a shower? No. See, I was scared of falling. So 3 years I have not, until recently when I let that fear go. Sorry, Mr. Pip. You now want to know if I can go to the toilet by myself. Yes. Do I stay in there for a long time? Because I'm scared my bum ain't clean. Also true. But why would I want to tell a friend that info? Not alone you. Look, Mr. Pip, the reason I was not scared at the assessment was because I had a friend with me who was there to support me. So I'm sorry, Mr. Pip, for not showing my fear. Maybe come to my house next time when the results of the assessments come through my door. If I thought that's what you wanted, I would try and be more sincere. I'm sorry, Mr. Pip. Yes, I can travel unaided. I forgot to mention the number of times that I've lost my bus pass and caused a lot of tension. I'm sorry, Mr. Pip, that you can make a judgment on a 1 hour assessment and the best information you have on my disability is what you have on your notes. See, I am not a guideline, a handbook, or set of rules. I am just me. I'm sorry, Mr. Pip, for trying to make out I'm fine. See, that's just me. To understand me, you need to get to know me. But Mr. Pip, we know you don't have time, and I know you have a job to do. So, in a way, I don't blame you. I blame the system, who makes me feel less abled just because I need some help. No one chooses to be disabled, but we deal with it in our own way. So stop treating us like a diagnosis and treat us like people. I am a person, and sadly, the system is my barrier. So that was my situation with Pip. I have recently just gone through it again, and I'm waiting at the moment to hear from them to see what happens next. And I am nervous about that situation already. So there might be another follow-on poem to that. Also, the situation with access to work is a major thing that I think a lot of people in the community, in the disabled community, is worried about. I'm lucky Jake's my creative enabler through access to work. But it also is a scary time for us all. And getting the thoughts out on that is really important also. And challenging your counsellors. I really do. I've just recently had an email from my local council after 12 weeks. So about the whole assessments. So that was interesting.
Josh has asked a brilliant question.
Yeah.
That we should maybe address after that bit of poetry.
Yeah.
And it's talking more about you as a creative and kind of your career. And the question is, how do you manage as a creative who does producing as well as performing and writing poems? Is it something you do daily to keep up your creativity?
Yeah. That's
Should
what
we talk
can I
about
just
Josh?
Josh.
Yeah.
Hi Josh. So yeah, thank you very much for the question. And oh, I'm just getting the question up so I can see it.
So it's about your
Yeah.
creative process.
So yeah,
How do you manage it all?
I feel very much that writing at the moment is somewhere that I am getting my voice heard a bit more. I feel very much like as much as I want to perform and act, which I'm having more of an opportunity to do, I also recognise that the opportunities for learn disabled people to perform in shows is scarce. So having opportunities to write and to perform in different ways is really important to me. So that's why I do it a lot, is to keep up my creativity and to have fun. I don't always want to write poems that are so serious. I want to make people laugh. A great poet, as you know, Josh, is Zane Singer, who is a brilliant poet, and he wrote a poem once called about a spotty bottom, and it was all about bullying. But for me, he has a way of working around a tough topic like that, but also making it personal to him, and that's what I like to do with my poetry. So he's one of my people that I really look up to in poetry, is Shane. So yeah.
Richard's shared a really nice offering that discusses putting on a poetry workshop yesterday, which gave him the scope to talk about why he writes poetry. And actually, he felt surprised at how deep it went. The emotional and psychological impact, and being connected to his past, present, as well as exploring imagination and reality and the relationships there. As well as, you know, originally just writing to express oneself.
Yeah, I totally get that, Richard. And I'm glad that you've had the time to do a workshop yesterday about why you write poetry, because it does go deep. And yeah, that's great.
Caroline's also shared that she wants to do sort of a visual response for the Disability Arts Online blog.
Cool.
Have you got any ideas or anything that you'd want to see visually, Paul? Maybe an incarnation of Mr. Pip?
Yeah, and I do on Mr. Pip, but I think it's also what you're passionate about, because I think that's something that I always find is if you're passionate about the poem that you're writing, the ideas flow. And so yeah.
Josh has shared that he's just recently applied for access to work, but feels frustrated that knowing that it can take a long time. Have you got any words of advice there?
Yeah, Josh, you and me have worked together in the past, so I just say, just be careful of your own thoughts, okay? Don't overthink it, because as long as you've got the right support into play, that's all that can happen. There's nothing you can. You've now done the hardest bit, and that's put the application in. Now it's just waiting, which is the hardest thing, but don't let it stew over in your brain. I'm always around to chat if you ever need it, okay? That's just as a you to me, okay?
Caroline.
Caroline.
We're going to hear from Caroline.
I wanted to link into that question. You know, that question was about it's going to take a load of time to get access to work. But it's also, and you made the point earlier on, Paul, that there's not very many opportunities to get performance for learning disabled people. And for loads of stuff, I've got fed up with spending a huge amount of my time applying for things, and I spend much more time applying for things than I do creating things. And so I'm kind of like alternately pissed off by that, and also just thinking I'm not going to apply for things anymore because it's wasting my time. It's stopping me from being creative. I just wanted to know what you think about that, and if other people have got responses to that as well, I'd be really interested to hear.
Yeah, I completely get you, Caroline, on that. About, because we all want to create. That's why we got into this industry. We never got into it to write applications, or we got it because we're creative people. A lot of the things, like, I realized there was no opportunity for me as an actor professionally. So that's why I got into producing, and yeah, so I think it's so hard at the same time of where we need. I would say don't give up on it, making the applications, but also work with work in collaboration, so that you're not having to take that burden all by yourself. I think a lot of the time that.
Where do you find collaborators? I'm in my early 60s, and there's kind of everyone wants young people, and of course it's good to have young people involved, but Like, you know, you don't stop being interested in being creative just because you got a bit older. And all of you,
Exactly.
I realize that as you get older, you're going to stay on, you know, you get kicked out of the application systems.
Yeah. I mean, where do you mind me asking whereabouts you're based?
I live in central London.
Okay, just thinking I'll come. I mean, yeah, I'm totally with you because I find that if you're over the age of a certain age, like even with bus passes, well, train passes, if you over the age of 35, there's no train passes for you. So there's no discounts and stuff. So or you have to have a PIP form or whatever. So
I'm
uh,
loads older than that, but that's not helping me, if you see what I mean.
yeah, I mean, I think
I'm not asking for special stuff. I'm just saying that I'm just sharing the fact that, you know, I have put in loads of applications for things and not got that much. In this number of applications, and I get this number of helpful responses. And I know that helpful what they're doing now is like Theatre Delhi, for example. And I think that Camden People Theatre are also doing it. They're basically doing you don't have to apply. They're not going to look at your quality of it. They're just going to pick it out of a hat, a random stuff. So at which point you might as well just put in your name and address, you know, and not bother with it.
yeah. I mean, talking to places like just think Liberty Festival might be a good shout.
That's run by Cryptic Arts.
Yeah, it's run by a company called Cryptic Arts.
Okay.
I
Times the cryptic stuff, and they've got that's a zero that I'm making with them.
okay. I'm just thinking who else.
I think also
I'm not asking for this.
No.
It's not. Please solve my problem for me. I'm just sharing the problem. Although if you do have a personal answer, that would be great. But I'm not expecting that at all. I'm hoping that there might be some more general response to that. You know.
Company you might be interested in contacting is a company called Triple C.
Okay.
They're based up in Manchester, but they do work in London. They do have conferences and stuff. That might also be a good shout. It's run. Sorry, I'm making sure that I'm not going too fast for Pauline. So, cool. But yeah, no.
I've never heard of it. I'll look them up.
It's run by Shirley Houston from Coronation Street and Melissa Jones from Grantchester. It's got over 2,000 disabled creatives on their books.
Right.
So that they do come from London and stuff. So it's a great opportunity for you to speak to other creatives at the same time. So I hope that helps, Caroline.
Thank you. That's really good.
That's cool.
Thank you. I just wanted to make the general point about putting loads of bloody energy into applying for things and getting nothing back from it, which is just a waste of time.
Yeah.
Can I chip in, Paul?
Yeah.
I think Caroline makes a really great point, but it also highlights the importance of having a space that, just like Disability Arts Online are creating here, opportunity for discussion, talks, but also with the blog pieces the blog that they have available for people to contribute to the blog, and I guess it's another way of getting your creative output kind of out there into the world, and I think if I've been working with Paul for the last year, and I think we're in a very fortunate position because Paul is so incredibly good at networking and has such a fantastic community around him that he's built up over a long time. And I think that, so I suppose that's why Paul is offered and afforded quite a few opportunities. However, you still have to stick your foot in the door, don't you, Paul? Sometimes, like recently, the last couple of conferences that you've been to, so like the Darcy conference in York springs to mind, the Cryptic Arts conference in London,
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about
Yeah.
that bit?
Yeah. So I know.
How and why do you put yourself out there? And
I think a brilliant example for me was that recently I look at festivals that are happening and I kind of see that learned disabled voices are not being included into these major conversations that are happening around disability in general. I think that we are seeing, this is my personal opinion, right at the low end of where disability comes in. And they don't think that we can contribute to the discussions that are being had. My disability is mild to moderate, but I've also got a big goal, and I admit that. So I called out a festival recently. I actually was like, why isn't there anyone for learning disability at this conference? And they were like, we hadn't thought about it. We're sorry. I found out recently also that they actually had only just created the conference part of the festival in 2.5 weeks. So everyone was in the same situation, but that information was not shared to everyone. So I was just like, look, I can come and have a chat. I can be on the panel. The thing sometimes you just have to literally say, I'm here, come and get me. And that's kind of what I've been doing, is just saying, look, I'm here, come and have a chat with me, come and have those good discussions, come to Mind Gap. And things like that. So I think it's really important just to have those going into meetings and just saying, come on, I want to have a chat with you. So yeah, that's where I am with that.
I think also, for me,
yeah,
you're in a very fortunate position that you have kind of a flexible working pattern with your main job
yeah,
at Mind the Gap, which gives you sustainability in terms of your income, but then it also affords you an opportunity to take risks and
yeah,
push yourself further out there into the community for projects and for other pieces of work.
yeah, definitely. I think it's so. Recently I've just seen a stat about around learning disability and the fact of that only this come from MenCap, only 5% of people with a learning disability is in paid employment. So I actually looked it up of how many people that actually was. And I think a lot of the times there's stats that you hear and it's like 5% and you don't really recognize it of what that actually means. But what that actually means statistically is only 65,000 people with a learning disability is in paid employment out of 1.3 million people. So that for me just says so much. So I'm very fortunate to be one of those 65,000 people who are in paid employment. But there's so much more that we can all be doing to challenge and to support each other. It's Wendy, I actually Jake says that I'm very good at it. I'm not great at networking. I'm very fortunate that I've known people over a long time. And I don't think it's always great, the way that networking is in this industry. I think sometimes it doesn't help. Yeah, there's ways that we could make networking easier for people. And that doesn't just mean I think we all got to focus on that, and challenge the way that it is worked out. Yeah, so basically I done an event called Triple C, and it was with Dank. And instead of it being their usual events is a whole lot of disabled people in one room, I made sure that this event was specifically for learning disabled people. And we got major industry professionals from the BBC, ITV, and different organisations together working with Triple C. And so I produced that, which was great, but it was also learnings from that. So we're hoping to do more things with them in the future. I want to go on to my next poem, which is more about my experiences of mental health and anxiety and depression. And the poem is called Untitled. So if you've got an idea for it, please let me know. Saying that you're struggling is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of strength and hope. Because you're reaching out and you want to stay afloat. Never let the fear of judgment stop you from being you. Because you are wonderful and you really are a star. So let the stars shine bright and fight the fear of judgment out. Because this only happens when we let our minds shout. Our friends and family who are around us and love us every day, I just want to say thank you for never standing in our way. Because even at our worst, you are with us to try and keep those dark days away. So yes, you and I might be struggling, but we're going to seize this day, because whoever you are, you being in it makes this world a better place in each and every way. So that was so if you've got any ideas of a name for that poem, please let me know. And so I've just seen your message, Caroline, about that you're happy to try and network. And I think making sure that every networking event that's happening has also got a online provision in place is really important. And I think that's because you can also do breakout rooms, and that's really important. So yeah, I really am excited by this group, and I was wondering if I'm going to do something random here, because I like doing random stuff. And I was wondering if you'd be up for working with me on writing a poem.
I've got 10 minutes.
We've got 10 minutes, so
Hey, we can do it in 10 minutes.
but I think we've got a good group here. So if there's any lines that you would like me to put into a poem, and
any questions
or
about
any
your poems,
or any questions or anything you want to talk about. And what I'll do is, if you've got any lines that you want to put down, I will then copy them, and then because of the blog that we've got on this webinar, I'll put all the work together, all the things you've written down, and I will put them in the blog so that you can read what I've got. I think that'd be a
we'll do a
after
response to the Zoom for the blog.
Yeah. So if you've got any questions or anything, please let me know, or whatever you want to talk about now. or if you do just want to write some poetry, that's great. Hi, Ivan.
Hi, thanks, Paul. Richard asked a question about what does the right to thrive mean to you?
That's a really interesting question. I mean, the right to thrive means I think at the moment we're surviving, we're not thriving. I think that's personally how I'm feeling. I feel that there's a lot of opportunities to thrive, but I think it's knowing how to actually fight the system a bit more. I personally won't go to protest. I'm scared. I'll be very honest about it. I'm scared to go to a protest. And so I won't go, but I will fight in other ways around the system. And I will always be up for a challenge and challenge political views around it. But I do think a lot of people with learning disabilities are scared about going to protest and stuff like that. Caroline?
Hey, it's a bit similar to that question about what's thriving look like, and you sort of said maybe I'm more surviving than thriving, and I'd like to really expand out on thriving, because you've just talked about arguing about various things, fighting the system. That's not really thriving for me. It's really exhausting fighting the fucking system, you know. Bastards don't take, sorry to swear it in front of those.
No, it's fine.
Bastards don't take any notice, do they? My idea of thriving is not doing that, because thriving should mean that we're not doing that, you know. And so thriving is very different from me at that. I just wanted to know what you thought about that, because you've been talking about, and yeah, PIP is a nightmare, but I mean, hey, you know, is that getting around PIP that even when you've got through PIP, that's not, I've got through PIP, and I'm not sure that that's helped me. I'm scared of, I got a letter from them and I just thought, oh my God, I was really frightened. They just wanted to, my PIP had gone up because it was the time of year, and I'm like, oh, why did you put that? You should have put, anyway, whatever. I'm just thinking, let's think about what else for you is thriving.
I think it's so hard. I mean, I struggle. I won't lie, I do struggle quite a bit. But I think if you're talking about thriving, I think me making my trip up to from Dorset to Bradford is a major success. It's over 287 miles. I knew no one when I was up here. I had my friends, I had my family when I was down south. It's great that some people actually here that I like Tony and Tam that are here that had a major impact in my career. Tony still does, and so does Tam. They both have a major impact in my career and me working. So I'm thriving in my work, I would say.
Yeah.
I think in my own life in general, I think I'm struggling. And I think me getting PIP might help me thrive, but it might also cause me a lot of more trouble than I want in my life. So it's a really,
you know, I'm just trying to think about, so imagine you had like a magic thrive carpet, if you see what I mean.
yeah.
You were on a magic carpet for thriving, if that makes any ridiculous sense to you. You know what I'm
No,
talking
it does make sense. If I would do more freelance work. That would be my magic carpet, is not having to rely on just one, like, mind a gap. I would love to take my work and talk to panels and talk to different groups. That's what it also means to me. So I'm probably not answering that question properly, but
Can I chip in?
yeah, I'm going to let Jake chip in because he knows me so well.
I think thriving for you would mean that you don't constantly feel that you have to explain your disability to people out in the public, or doing some things along the lines of that. I mean, the bus pass thing,
Yeah.
I think it exasperates the pair of us, because it's really, really important for you and your access, your mobility, and kind of logistically being able to get around, and having that bus pass is brilliant. But it's so easy for you to lose it, and when you do lose it, like you said, you had to pay £5 to
Get a new one.
get a new one, and it little things like that in the system that can be really difficult to kind of manage sometimes, I
Yeah.
think.
I'm just
Yeah,
trying
But
to
then,
about it not being bad rather than it being super good. I'm asking you on a magic carpet thing, what counts as super good? Because I think we should stop. We need to move. We need to move on from something about it's not going to be bad. We need to say, look, why can't we thrive? I mean, really thrive. I mean, like that's why I said magic carpet.
yeah.
That's what I was saying, Jake. You were saying, okay, so he doesn't have a bus pass problem. I'm sorry to pick on you, Jake. That's really sounds horrible of me.
no, it's all right. I think, I mean, ultimately, in an ideal world, Paul wouldn't need someone like me. The world should work in a way that that everybody's understanding and supportive enough that that everybody can be. Yeah, I don't feel like people should feel facilitated. I feel like people should just be able to be, right. And
I don't quite agree with you. I think that we'd all want a Jake, if you see what I mean. To lovely Jake to give us a hand. I don't, and I'm simply not picking on you in that way. I just think that it's all about the doing stuff by yourself. It's a really capitalist view, isn't it? We've all got to survive by ourselves. We've got to thrive by ourselves. And actually, there is a better thing about like within a whole community. It's about, it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to make a good creative, really, doesn't it? It seems to me.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what I wanted to try and reassure you with what we were saying earlier, in terms of having a space and a community. And again, the way that disability arts has worked, and Paul previously was running the disability arts online podcast with Colin, and just basically being able to kind of expand that network and that community. And even if you can't attend or do things in person, I think it's really important, and it demonstrates, even a Zoom room like this today really highlights the importance of some of their work to creative people, and having just a safe place and space to work collaboratively, or form relationships, or say hello, and be like, be available to each other, and to share thoughts, feelings, insights, knowledge. Build that community, really.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Jake. I'm going to be the time police and say we're at time. It's 3 o'clock. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Paul, and for Jake for presenting. Paul, do you have any final words you want to say before we?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you very much for coming today. I really do appreciate you all being here. I will work on Joe, if you can collaborate what people have said, then I will put that into a poem. I will collate that.
We will do that.
and-
We'll send that to Paul, and Paul will put it together into something. You can
Yeah.
put your contributions in for that, and if you want to just submit your own contribution to the All Right to Thrive blog, you can do that by emailing colin@disabilityarts.online. I put that in the chat. We will also send a follow-up email to everyone who's attended, just with the basic stuff of how you can get involved with All Right to Thrive further.
Yeah. And if you want to contact me, I'll give Jay my permission to contact me about anything you want to do. Let's carry on these conversations. I think it's really important.
Brilliant. I will. So we will include. We'll include a way to get in touch with Paul in that email. I just want to say a final thank you to Ivan, our sort of lead artist on the project, and to our lovely BSL interpreters, Pauline and Nicole, and just to all of you for joining us and for contributing so nicely, everyone. What a lovely session it's been. Thanks all round, and hopefully we will see and speak to you all soon.
Take care.
Bye, everyone.